Hello world, Stephen Michael Zach here, and welcome to Build It Like a Pro, the show where we teach you how to build DIY equipment that you can use on the job. So this video is a very interesting build. Now, a big shout out to Alan over at SoundSpeeds for making me aware of this product. Now, he had a video where he reviewed the Zacuto, I believe it is the Zacuto boom pole on-camera boom pole mount. So this thing will cost you about $165, and I was watching this video and saying to myself, man, I could build that with stuff I have around the studio, so that's what we're doing today. So first off, this will probably cost you anywhere between $65 and $85, depending on what you use, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but here is what I used from stuff I had just around my studio. Okay, so here we are. This is the Zacuto Micro Boom. It is $165 here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the photos here. Zooming in, it's got some kind of a nice attachment there, wire built in. All looks very cool. It's got a shoe on the end there. And then it is definitely just a 2.5 millimeter jack. Not a phone jack, but a regular, not a TRR or whatever it is. And this is people using it. I would not use this for walk and talk because, first of all, he's taller than her, so he's going to sound better than her. And also, this thing will be bobbing up and down if you are walking and talking. Even if you're standing, this thing is going to be bobbing up and down. So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to use something like this, have it be stationary with nothing touching it. But there you go. That is it. That is the Micro Boom. We are going to build this for free $99. Now, first off, we need a selfie stick with a camera mount, which I have. You're going to need a couple of these garbage bag twisty ties. You can find this anywhere around your house. I do have one of these mini Boya microphones. Now, you could probably pick one of these up for about between $35 and $50. I have several of these as they work fairly well. Then you're going to need a ball head. Now this is off an old cheap lighting thing that light fixture that I had. So this was absolutely free as well. And then you will need a extension cable. Again, this is just a 3.5 millimeter extension cable. I had this lying around my studio. So there you go. Now let's start to build here. Now first off, I'm just going to take the plug off here, and we are going to screw in the selfie stick here to the bottom of the microphone like so, and there you go. That's pretty much it. Then we're going to take the ball head here and we're going to screw the ball head in like so, and then we're going to let's go ahead and replace the wire here, pop that in, and we're going to attach it to the longer wire here like so, and then we're going to extend the boom pole. And I'm just going to run this all the way down here. Now, I do want to, at the top here, leave enough room for some slack here. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reverse this. And I'm actually going to plug this into here, like so, up at the top. And then I'm going to take the other end here, and we're going to plug this in, and we're going to run this down into the camera. And what you want to start off by doing is leaving a little bit of slack for the cord here so it doesn't get pulled. And you're going to take your first garbage tie here, or whatever tie you can find, whatever you have around the house, and you're going to wrap this around nice and tight, making sure that this cord is not going to vibrate like crazy. I'm going to try to get mine underneath here like so. And we could wrap the excess around here like that. Just be careful that this is not going to hit your pole and create vibrations. You want to make sure that this is tied off fairly well. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wrap a little bit here like so, and then bring it back over and tie it. Again, I want to make sure that this wire is not going to bounce around. Now, it is going to be stationary on your camera. But I am just trying to make sure that this is tied down well enough. And then lastly, we'll go down here towards the end here, and we'll tie this off. Now you might want to include a few more ties. This is just what I had lying around the house at the immediate moment. And there you go, your wire is all tied off. And all we have to do is plug this into the camera. And for the camera, we'll be using the Sony ZV-1. Now you want to make sure that you have one of these small rig heads or some kind of shoe on the top. You could use a small rig, you can use a Condor Blue mini quick release plate. Anything really will do as long as it is nice and tight inside the camera here. And let's go ahead and make sure that is perfectly in, like so. And make sure it's pointing in the right direction. I tend to like the Condor Blue plates better than these small rig ones. They just fit in better. And then you're just going to go ahead here, and you're going to mount your ball head like so. What I like about this small rig one is that it is locking, so it's not going to come out and fall out on your talent. And we'll go ahead and lock that in. Tighten this up. Tighten up the top here, and you are pretty much good to go. So there you go. You're ready to mount this thing. And here we are. This is what it looks like all together. It seems to work very well. Let's go ahead and punch in here. And as you can see, I actually have mine off this small rig and not off the cold shoe, because I'm afraid I would break the cold shoe if I had it there for long periods of time. And we'll kind of zoom in so you can see what it looks like here. And as you can see, we've got lovely zip ties going all the way up. And then we've got that there. So all in all, it works very nicely. Just works. Left a little slack up top here as not to pull on the microphone. I will cinch these cables a little bit more with a few more ties so there's no chance of them hitting the pole and causing any noise. But that is pretty much it, kids. So here we have it. This is the DIY version of the Zacuto boom pole microphone camera mount. Now, the microphone is right about here. I would have gotten it a little bit lower. However, this mount is a little bit, this ball head is a little bit janky, so it was kind of dipping into the microphone, so I did have to, into this shot, so I did have to lift up just a little bit higher. But all in all, not bad for free $99. Now, this in no way replaces a good lav mic and or recorder. Of course, I use the Rode Wireless Pro. I record 32-bit float. I have a split track in the camera, one higher, one lower recording, so that I have three bits of audio just for safety. That is just a personal thing I like to do. You don't need to do that, but it is a good idea to always have a backup. But all in all, not too bad. This was built with stuff that I had in my studio. Now, if you were to go out and purchase this off Amazon, it would cost you anywhere between $65 and $85. Now, I will say that depending on what you use, it could be more, could be less, but it's still a far cry from $165 and works just as well. So all in all, not bad. Now, one thing to be careful of is I did notice that when I was adjusting this, it did bob for a while because, again, it is a selfie stick. It is not the best, it is not the most solid pole in the world. So if somebody's walking by or somebody's fiddling with the camera or moving behind the camera, you will get some shake in the pole, which could transfer to the mic. So just be very careful when you're using this setup. But I will say that this setup is perfect for if you are doing YouTube and talking to the camera. If you're doing an interview and you're talking to somebody just off camera, I can absolutely see this being used. It is not a bad setup for somebody just beginning, very much if you have no money or you are starting out. It works, it's functional. So those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, reminding you to stay positive, work hard, and make it happen.